Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome in everyone. For those who do not know, my name is Guest, also known as It's Guest Gaming, and we, ladies and gentlemen, are here at the semifinals and finals for Group A's section of the Johnson Cup. I had an absolute blast yesterday looking at some absolutely insane gameplay, and we have a lot to cover, to say the absolute minimum. So we have our first match right away, getting ready and logged in. They are pairing up, they are sharing codes. So we're going to get ready for Team Owie versus Team Sizer. If you were here yesterday, you saw Team Sizer continue on, and we're going to be following their journey right now. So we're going to be joining up from their point of view up against Team Owie. Now, let's switch on over and take a look at the bracket real quick to give you an idea of where we have gone over the last several hours. Slowly but surely, we have seen Sizer take down Team Wenpo. We have seen Owie take down Zunz, who has started to explode all over the Marvel Snap scene after hitting #1 with a Black Knight deck that started to explode all over Marvel Snap. And we also saw Team Zariweya, way in the very beginning of the stream, also continue on by taking down the epic trio of Lammy Series, Brauda, and Torakun single-handedly in the first round. So we have a lot of surprises in store. We had a lot of surprises last night even. Last night, we did have Series B go off on KM Best's channel, and fan favorites, Team Hoogland, so Cozy Snap himself, Jeff Hoogland, and Revis were also eliminated in the first round. So you never know what's going to happen here at the Johnson Cup. We have some very tight gameplay. They are matching up, I can see on the background right here. So I hope you are ready to not know what's going to happen, because I don't either, and we're all going to find out. So if you're excited about it, I'm excited about it. I am honored to be here. For those who do not know, once again, this is the Johnson Cup. We're going to start here in the semifinals and then move to the finals directly right afterwards. The winner of today is going to go on later tonight to also face off against the finals from Series B. So that grouping will also come to be on KM Best's channel in approximately just over 12 hours from now as well. And if we switch over to there, let's take a look on that layout. That's still Series A. On Series B brackets, you can see that we have our top four of Team KX4N, Get Wrecked, Spyro, and Desert Fox. So we have a wide variety of players from all around the world once again for the Johnson Cup this evening. If you're looking for those semifinals in Series B and the finals. Now, the winner of all of that is who's going to face the winner of today's top four and finals finish. That will decide the non-Korean brackets ultimate winner tonight on KM Best's channel. But for now, we are going to be getting ready to dive over into what hopefully is going to be, from Sizer's point of view, Team Sizer's point of view. Looks like it's going to be opening up. Yeah, we're going to open up with Crazy from Team Sizer. Just getting that confirmation now. And yeah, we're looking good. Beautiful. They're going to be sharing those codes right now. They are cleared to start. I'm looking good to go. Beautiful. Giving Crazy the A-OK. You are looking free to start. And they are going to share. So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. We have no idea what's going to happen. It has been a day and evening full of surprises over the last 24 hours. And if you like this style of content, please, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure you hit that follow button, because if you've never been here before, I'd love to have you back. I'm a full-time content creator and caster here for Marvel Snap, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays here at just about this hour on Twitch. So I'm glad to have you here on the guest list as we showcase some of the best talent here at the Johnson Cup. So let's see what happens on over there. Let's go back and get ready for the matchup in this bracket. Boom. And boom. Beautiful. They're sharing. Beautiful. We'll get that share going, and we're going to get it up to you right away. So stick around. We're going to wait on this screen and head on over right now.
What? What in the... What is happening? What is this deck? I don't know. Is this like the Black Knight fake out? No, we were so close.
All right, you can see the matchup going live. It is the captain, Owie himself, up against Crazy to lead us off here for the semifinals, Series A at the Johnson Cup. Looks like Crazy's coming on in with a pretty standard at the moment looking Thanos list, which has been kind of dominating, if you will, over the last several matchups. We've seen a lot of Thanos, let's be honest, everywhere. Whether you're in ranked mode, you're in conquest, Thanos has taken over the meta, almost to a worrisome effect. But since the re-rise of Cull Obsidian, now I do expect this to not be going anywhere. And if this is going to place all the way higher in these competitions, expect a lot more Thanos to also appear in your ranked mode and ladder matches. It is a Thanos on Thanos, and an opening turn snap from Owie is going to secure a retreat from Crazy. Owie saying, I've got a better hand than you, try me. We're looking to see which variations each of these players are also going to be showcasing today as well, because we've seen a couple of different takes on Thanos decks, both in Series A and in Series B. One of the biggest ones right off the bat definitely has been taking a look at the dissection of Loki's integration back into Thanos decks. And in these competitions, where it's a high concentration, I am a huge fan of seeing these appearances because they organically add some cost reduction without an ongoing ability needing to be sufficient. So very, very intelligent play from both players as they both get a Lockjaw down into the Abbey. Looks like everybody's going to be getting to draw a card. You've got the energy advantage with turn 4, tossing that Time Stone, feeling good about getting that Magneto to drag over potentially the Lockjaw on the opposite side of the battlefield. The other integrations we've started to see has also surrounded around Professor X and Alioth coming back into the lockdown versions of Thanos decks once again, and now the brand new Hela Thanos deck, which has only come to be since the emergence of Corvus Glaive. Big shouts to that because it is a unique build that showcases cards like Gambit in a new way. Also creating, you think there's RNG before? No, let's just add even more in onto it. You've got retreat on retreat in both round 1 and 2 as Owie and Crazy are trying to just feel out one another right now, figure out who's got the stronger hands, and it's going to be potentially a stronger, more aggressive gameplay moment for each of them if that's the direction this battle's going to end up going. Once again, we're at turn 2. We've got another snap coming on down. I believe that was Owie who came on in with it this time. But now that we're sitting with a Chimera, Alioth, and Thanos in hand, it's probably got to feel much better. Mind Stone in hand, get that double draw, get those cards up and running. And a hub randomness to fill. Khazar is a nice winning card. Could be a great surprise play towards the end if we can draw potentially. I'd say a Mind Stone would end up being the best play at this moment if they could get that deck. Soulstone on Soulstone, still slight advantage over to Crazy, and Time Stone giving a draw plus a Power Stone. So we know Aoi would definitely love to benefit from that surprise Khazar, but a Time Stone cannot be complained about to toss that into Lockjaw, get some RNG rolling right away. Great start. Great start for both players. 4 stones and 3 stones. You've got your power. You've got your ongoings. Slight advantage probably to Aoi for that double card draw Mind Stone, but it could have been just everything that's out on the battlefield already coming out too. Time Stone draws a Scar, tosses into Lockjaw, and gives us a Vision, one of the most flexible cards in Marvel Snap, and also remaking its appearance in the metas again and again and again. Now with 6 energy, you have to start to think, which direction do you really need to go? Are you going to protect your stones with that surprise Khazar, give a little extra power into Xandar, or do you try to steal the advantage and play backwards? And I like this call. With that Vision currently hovering in the middle of Camp Lehigh, try to protect at least these 2 lanes, protect 2 of the lanes to go for that Alioth protection later on. Goes for exactly that, takes the lead over into the hub by sliding over their Vision as Aoi does the exact same thing. Mind Stone disappears and comes back as another Time Stone, so now we have a full 7 to throttle around. Khazar drops, gives that extra bonus, which Lehigh definitely could use, as Devil Dino's going to be competing in Xandar on the opposite side. 7 energy to boot, and an ongoing Khazar to start. So Devil Dino's nice and safe. Do you move? Do you protect? This is a tough call, because that Alioth is always going to feel like a priority play. But with a Vision on the other side, it may make more sense to play off of it and assume Vision won't move, because Lockjaw's creating RNG that we're not certain of yet. Tough call here. Tough call here for Crazy. Just like facing up against one of the most hated locations in Marvel Snap, New York, Vision presents that same obvious chaos simultaneously of who's going to move what. So now if we've each got a Vision, you've only got essentially about a 16% chance of guessing your pairing exactly correct. So that randomness is incredibly difficult to dance around. Looking at playing into the RNG ×2 in the mid potentially, and banking on some movement by moving that Alioth into the right and a slide, but Aoi doesn't want to deal with it at all, is going to retreat for 2 cubes in round number 3. And a nice Wakandan embassy, all the 6 drops in hand. Yeah, Crazy's not too thrilled about that. Already clicking the retreat button, thinking bad things are going to happen, especially if Aoi's opening with the Mind Stone. Little bit less aggressive at the moment, but it wouldn't be surprised if this is round number 4. Wouldn't be surprised to see a snap come in. And Crazy's going to hold back here. He's going to hold back that Power Stone instead of trying to play into a little bit of power. In case if we end up top decking a Lockjaw, this is an immediate retreat as Aoi comes on down with a great snap to bring us down 8-7, leaving the low stakes and moving right into the high stakes round. Round number 5. 5 cubes have been tallied off of both of our opponents. Now it gets a little bit treacherous. It is nearly a mirror match at this point, as 8-7 is essentially the exact same thing when you're losing by 2 cubes each and every time. So keep an eye out to see how the card draws in your first 2 turns are going to be consistently defining your gameplay throughout that moment. Aoi and Crazy have both been very aggressive snappers so far, and we can tell that based on the card draws, it looks more so than anything else. Here it is again. We've got a card draw dropping on down. Aoi feels confident, goes for the snap, going to take off 2 cubes off of Crazy. They're playing very similarly right now when it comes to snap mechanics. They're looking at that aggressive turn 2 push back and forth. You either have the stones or you don't. And if they're playing into it, that could really, really be the defining factor between both players. The peak coming on down, depending on what it hit for both of these players, they're potentially cursing in several different languages right now as a Mind Stone drops into Crazy's hand, feeling incredibly confident going into that Lockjaw on turn 2. Get that stone rotation and draw moving very quickly. Once that engine is going, you've got to feel good about it. And now he's got to decide if he has the stones for this moment as well. Probably the best possible top deck that Crazy could have been asking for right there is to pull that Mind Stone after a turn 2 playable Lockjaw. And Owie's stuck at the moment. And we're going for 4. Both players feel fantastic. Blob is going to immediately come on down, eat up 22 power in the mid. It got rid of a Mobius from Owie's side. Interesting play choice for that Thanos deck. We haven't seen it be dropped yet, so I like the combination of a little bit of RNG playing into this. Owie's taking a big chance here because we have seen it happen many, many times. Magneto was also eaten in that X-Mansion. It was the last play, the last card, excuse me, that Blob ingested. X-Mansion could come on out, could be a Deathlock. And then we're going to see several different frustrations from Owie on the opposite side, if that's the case as well. Oof. Get a double stone card draw. Mind Stone's going to end up tossing into Lockjaw, reducing its chances of a small card. You're sitting on your 3 of your bigger cards in hand, even though Thanos has already been converted over one time. There's the protection for Blob. Probably the safest, smartest call as it turns into the Space Stone. Maybe to slide over whatever pops into X-Mansion. Let's see. It's a Hobgoblin and a Sandman. This, for 4 cubes, is not going to feel good for either player right now. At least Crazy is sitting on a Jeff. Owie comes back with an incredibly smart and quick snap. That RNG from X-Mansion was 4 cubes worth for Crazy's tally. Now moving into round 7, where Owie has now switched into the advantage, 7-2. Crown City getting dismissed right away by Owie, now playing at a disadvantage with Bar Sinister and Crazy, who doesn't even need to show any strength whatsoever. He's got a vision in hand for Bar Sinister, one of the most flexible combinations in Marvel Snap. But those Raptors do not feel good right now. Those Raptors are going to be incredibly restricting for those visions if they look to lock something out and around and down. Trying to play into the wave piece and was hoping that maybe we can steal a location here with that Professor X, because we have not seen Crazy play the Professor X yet. Optimizing the visions ASAP, try to get those duplicates out there on Bar Sinister, so we have that flexibility very quickly. Kyara Blob into Hala, securing Hala at the moment temporarily, and 24 nearly identical absorption from last time we saw the Mobius and the Space Stone. This time is added on Jeff and a couple of other stones. So the big cards should be dropping, not the smalls is what we're going to be taking out of this at the moment. Professor X with the double vision lockdown looks to be a solid play because we have seen that mostly the big cards are remaining right now in Owie's hand or deck at the moment, considering Blob has eaten up a bunch of the smalls. The Bar Sinister multiplier is not going to kick in for Owie as they look to do their vision multiplier play. Great locking by Crazy, as now we've got 2 floating visions to decide where or what we need to play into. The Magneto hanging out inside of the Blob is a nice secure moment for Crazy, in my opinion, knowing that that wave cannot be bounced around. Doing the process of elimination, trying to figure out if I were to Blob right now, am I going to be okay? Are they going to be able to try to snipe right here in the mid safely? Because we do know Owie is most likely in this style of Thanos deck probably running a Shang-Chi. Neither player has played one, or we have not seen one nevertheless. And this is a closed deck format, so we're not 100% exactly if they brought it in This time, even if this deck or a variation of this deck even has been brought in prior battles. Tough call right here to try to absorb the blob and look for the security maybe in the right-hand side instead. Crazy's taking his chances on the right-hand side, and they also play into their right-hand side. Here comes the blob. How big does it get? Only 16 with a Devil Dino on top, goes to 13 with a Mind Stone, giving 2 more +1 power. It's not enough. Owie's going to drop out 2 more cubes off his tally and bring Crazy in a 5-2 matchup heading into round number 8. White Palace information exchange time as a Thanos and Magneto could end up into Owie's hand, but Crazy has a little bit more of an advantage by taking on that Scar. 2 stones in hand, waiting for the draw. Clogging now would be essentially the same, so I like this call of holding those 2 stones until turn 2, then playing both stones out there, get that double card draw, remove the cloning vats from the multiplier positioning, even with blob in hand, just in case. Jeff messing with the opponent just a tad in the Vibranium Mines thanks to the Reality Stone, as Nowhere drops in as a potentially precarious location. And Crazy opts for the ongoing to not plop into Nowhere, leaving Vibranium Mines as is. We have the full Rainbow and Thanos now available to us. Cull Obsidian safely going to be plopped into Nowhere. Looks like Crazy was possibly contemplating, should the Time Stone drop on down, maybe try to get down the entire Rainbow, maybe look at a safer play there, but Lockjaw is going to eat a Vibranium up and throw a Mobius back, which means the Scar reduction is no more. And start throwing some insecurity with Vision onto the battlefield as Owie comes back over the top in the Nowhere lane temporarily at 13, now 15. And you're sitting on your blob, Magneto, which could have a nice double effect here of stealing a lead with Lockjaw and Mobius, but Owie does have priority, so they still will get potentially their Lockjaw rotation if they're going to be tossing into it on this turn. They have played down their Mind Stone. They're sitting at a nearly full hand. Tough call. You just go for the power placement. Probably your safest overall bet, stacking big into Vibranium Mines. Devil Dino's going to reduce on the play cards anyway, most likely. Turn 6. He's going for it, takes it, locks it in, hoping for the big old blob to survive in the Vibranium Mines. You are sitting on 2 of your big cards already in hand. Cull Obsidian and Vision are already down. You have your own Scar to ingest, and that's kind of your breaking point to decide how big blob is going to end up. Power Stone locks into Lockjaw. They leave their 2 sides available for Crazy. And the Scar to boot, super strong into the White Palace, but Blob, Vision, Cull Obsidian, they're going to be taking over Vibranium Mines and Nowhere. Crazy hangs on yet again and brings Owie now down to 3. Back-to-back wins for Crazy brings us into round number 9 as Crazy's trying to make exactly that, a crazy comeback. Also, to all of the new viewers who are just coming on into the stream, welcome to the guest list. For those who do not know, my name is Guest, also known as It's Guest Gaming, and we are here at the Johnson Cup on a 10-minute delay to help keep the competitive integrity out for our players. So bear with us as we are playing on viewing, and you're watching this view on a 10-minute delay. So thank you so much for understanding. If you like today's content, make sure you hit subscribe, follow, all of the fun stuff. I'd love to have you back here at this hour tomorrow as we play, well, just a tad bit of Marble Snap. Mindstone on a Kyera versus Kyera matchup. Now, we've got Nova Roma and Elysium. Both players are definitely smiling right now, and it's just going to end up being a game of who has the advantage, and it's now just swung pretty aggressively into Aoi's favor. Mobius is finally making an impact in Aoi's deck at what could potentially be the final round between these two players. That ongoing of Elysium for Aoi comparatively is a huge advantage to play with and play around. So I am a little shocked to see Mobius actually get play in this Thanos versus Thanos effect. As we see En de Trois, and Reality Stone's going to remove that advantage from the other end of it. But it only ends up being a Dream Dimension, which is just going to hurt crazy. Locations and Mobius for the loss potentially right now. And Aoi's got to be smiling just a bit more. Crazy's got essentially 2 cards left to work with. They're holding a Vision and a Time Stone, so they're debating maybe that Lockjaw goes into Jotunheim and could cheat out something big. They have not pulled their Magneto yet, for example. They have Thanos in hand, Blob in hand, Scar in hand. They haven't pulled their Cull Obsidian yet, so maybe just that into Lockjaw, play the Time Stone plus a Vision as your final turn play, considering that your opponent has already got their Vision on the board. That looks to be the direction they're going to end up going. As a Reality Stone drops into Jotunheim, that's going to save a little bit off of that last piece. And now the full unpredictability coming down with New York. We talked about it earlier as a very scary location for a mega turn 6 uncertainty, because now both players have full movement available to them on the battlefield, and they have to decide, is it worth it for them right now to move anything? We did just see Shang-Chi come on out, but that's just a great tempo play nevertheless. Try to keep the priority going into this final move. One or 2 cards for Crazy's match. How much do you move? How much don't you move? You're sitting on a strong 5. Load New York and play into a blob into Nova Roma, ignoring the toss RNG of Lockjaw. Now that you've pulled that Magneto, those chances definitely feel a lot worse, even though you've got most of your rainbow out on the battlefield. No movement happens, and the blob comes down for Aoi. That's going to bring an advantage into Aoi's favor. 15 on 10 into the middle lane. Vision stays where he is. That blob in the right of Nova Roma is going to feel good, even resting at 19. But unfortunately, Crazy is going to be eliminated, which means Aoi is going to be moving on to the next round and trying to take down yet another portion of Team Sizer. So the captain is captaining his ship right now with a great leadoff win. It's 1-0 for Team Aoi. Stay tuned. We're going to get ready for the next matchup in just a brief moment. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We will be right back.
Better stats than that. All right, hold on. Let's do it. They leave the X-Men alone on the right. Wolverine flips over into the mid. The Grandmaster's going
going to do absolutely nothing. Nico flips over on the left-hand side. The Omega Red comes over the top, gives us the lead into the mid temporarily for now, which brings us over in the right-hand exit mansion. The Super Giants on the left-hand side just for the hell of it, because it's going to give us 8 power in total due to the Omega Red. We're going to have another flip on over. The reveals are coming on down. The Killmonger takes away the Nebula over on that side. Nebula also then explodes the Deadpool, which opens up the left-hand side. Carnage is going to come on down for a 4 power in the far expansion, but Claw is going to tie the far right-hand side, and we take the cubes. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
It's like night and day different. Double interruption with the S-Man. Oh, it owed it to Scarlet Witch. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, that I am on mute. It is a 10-minute delay, so it will be mute for 10 minutes. Yes, oh noes, professional streamer. So I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Did not realize that entire time for the last 10 minutes I was on mute. So yeah, you know what? It's going to be mute for 10 minutes. So enjoy the miming that happened. I hope you enjoyed the miming that happened. I apologize. As always, we are a 10-minute delay here on the Johnson Cup. So unfortunately, that was a fail. But speaking of protecting and the failing and all of the chaos, take a look at Hella getting pulled out by Jubilee on the opposite side for Owie. Big, huge hits with the Dracula and Infinite to boot. The Dracula takes on a Magneto again, but it's not enough in the Wakanda lane, nor does it need to be, as Owie's randomness with that spawning Hella still is going to be strong enough to take off another 2 cubes off of Andre's big, giant Thanos deck. I can't believe I was on mute for 10 minutes. I'm so glad at least that play got to be. The life of a streamer. This is why I never stream with a delay. But for the Johnson Cup, for competitive integrity, we absolutely should, for all of the right and understandable reasons. Let's go with Project Pegasus. Now, Andre's got a unique play here. We could see Professor X drop down, and that's what I think Andre is trying to think about. Is it worth taking the chance about maybe securing a lane right away? But if you guess wrong, you lose that lane right away. And instead just goes for a straight up 12 on Magneto while they drop their full free Infinite into Project Pegasus. That also has to feel incredibly strong for Owie as an opening turn 2 play. Titan makes this also a very fun matchup for both players. Now that Infinite's already down for Owie, we could see some big plays into Titan. We can't play the Giganto out on 5 just because Lockjaw now exists into the raft, but we could see that Magneto get played down also. So Lockjaw being into Titan could really only potentially move into Project Pegasus, and we've got to be able to play around that as the Soul Stone's going to lay into the Magneto lane, but Jubilee, Lockjaw, here comes the combo. Get the draw. It's going to draw hella early, which puts Black Cat into the raft. They're going to fill that up, toss in the Jubilee, get the free card out of the raft, and bring a Black Knight on top of it. So now the raft is locked and loaded. The raft could easily be taken over by Andre. He's got to feel confident there and now has to start playing into his own RNG in Titan. I like the toss of Super Skrull, who's a dead card in this matchup, into Lockjaw. Pop out, try to pop out something a little bit more substantial. This is a tough call here. Tough call here for Owie. Trying to decide defensively, since Hell has been popped out on 4, what can they play into on Titan for protection? They're just going to drop their Dracula, so that unpredictability does feel good. Let's take on a Super Skrull into Lockjaw. Pops out a floating Jeff, so I guess that feels okay. Keyword, I guess that feels okay, because you can slide that Jeff into the raft and secure the raft with no hesitations. There's nothing that can be moved out via a Magneto. So we've got to feel safe that the raft is not going to be moved around. However, the question comes, since Andre's got the since Owie's got the advantage here, does he move the lockjaw piece? And with that unpredictability existing, it looks like Andre's playing into it just in case by using Blob, Jeff, and Reality Stone. Now, those three alone could have the combo potential of only maxing at 19, but if they do Magneto into Project Pegasus and go for that secured lane, that also could be the winning move, because that'll bring it up to 32 in Project Pegasus, and then Blob is going to have to shoot up to nearly 30. We see a snap come from Owie's side of the battlefield. And let's see how he plays it out. He takes it in. He locks in his locations. Everything is played on down. Leader is going to copy a Reality Stone, which only makes a Los Diablo space. But there's the Magneto going into a straight up point-on-point matchup into the final location. Shuri's Lab is a huge card location for the flipped over Blob, as he is going to take advantage of the double up as he ingests to 21 on top of it, turns up to 42, and the blade ingestion from Dracula is not going to be anywhere close to enough, and Owie loses his first 4 cubes of the match, finally bringing it back to a 6v6. It is square even here. Andre versus Owie for Team Sizer versus Team Owie. Look at that rainbow. Big ol' rainbow to start us off into Nidavellir. Throw in that Soul Stone. Take a little bit of a point advantage because it is a very appealing location for both of our players. As the Black Knight finally drops here onto turn 2, we could see our full combo once again. Looking at capitalizing on Kunlun before it potentially disappears with a Mind Stone on 3. No hesitation from Andre right there, going straight for it. Here's your Time Stone. There's your draw. We're going to be playing with 5 on the next turn, as Death is now going to be converted into an Ebony Blade for 12 power. There goes Kunlun, so good snipe advantage for Andre, but now you got to compete in other lanes for that 5. Take on your Devil Dino. Stay nice and strong. You got to feel good on your matchup at the moment, as the Devil Dino with 6 in hand shoots out a 20 power Dino. The Ebony Blade trying to compete up against it. It's a dead tie when there's 6 cards in the hand. So, if you're Owie, how are you playing? As we get a snap from Andre, who's looking to show his first Professor X of the day. Looking for a location lock. If he hits this, this is big for Andre. And Owie doesn't want anything to do with it. Again, the Professor X is going to be hidden in the hand. We haven't seen it be ingested by Blob yet. We haven't seen it be played out yet. That is potentially a game-winning card for Andre. So keep an eye on that as we head to our high-stakes round. 6 for Andre, 5 for Owie. Turn 1 Mind Stone's got to feel good here. Ooh, and a free advantage for a turn, at least one turn for Andre. That's definitely got to feel good with Castle Blackstone. Try to stay ahead. We get a quick snap from, I believe that was Owie this time. Looking at the cursor, I'm not sure if it was Owie or Andre, but I'm leaning towards Owie as Owie retreats. So that was Andre's snap. Owie doesn't want to deal with it. He knows he's at the disadvantage already on this term. Great, easy 2 cubes. And Nexus could be a very fun location. All right. With a small Wakanda. Now, it's all going to be about, considering there's no stones in hand at the moment, is there any potential way to mess with the Nexus? So dropping the Kyera into Wakanda, I like this play. Just keep some security for now. Don't need a lot of it. We just need a little bit of it. As Owie's trying to prepare for a full-on attack into Wakanda. It looks like we're gonna be able to see our first appearance of Professor X if there's enough of a lead going into the Nexus, but here comes the Jubilee taking its chance into the Nexus, and it pulls the Magneto into dragging over the Kyera, so the advantage is still on Andre's side. X just looks a lot weaker very quickly. That Magneto pull was a huge win, and Andre is saying, Hail Mary it. They're still setting up. They've got their blade. They've got their lockjaw. He's banking on them not playing into Nexus right now. This could be a 2-cube moment, and very risky one at that. If we see a snap come from the opposite end, that'd be a tough retreat for Andre. Ooh. Definitely a scary moment. High risk, high reward. But just like Lockjaw, high risk, high reward. We do see a play into the Nexus. He goes for the lockdown, but Black Cat gets pulled, drawn, and played. So Nexus is locked. Unfortunately, that's going to be a 2-cube retreat for Andre. He took his chance, took a shot. Unfortunately, the RNG of the deck draw played into Owie's favor, and we have a slight advantage. All right, simple Space Stone to start. Simple Space Stone to start. Black Cat gone this time. Not going to be a concern. And the treacherous Muir Island. And a snap. Super fast, going for all 3 cubes, looking to put Owie on his toes, going for the full risk. He's got to feel good with his hand if he's going to move forward here. Got the Black Knight down. If Black Knight's already down, I wouldn't be surprised to see a discard right here of Infinite. No, Owie's going to back away. He doesn't like his discard chances. That's it. Owie's down to his final cube. It's a total of 3 games here. Right now, the whole match has been brought back down just to a best of 3. It's 4 cubes to 1. Andre for Team Sizer and Owie for his own team. It's a straight up matchup. It's just a best of 3. Mojo and Onslaught Citadel to open it up. getting the full rainbow progressively, and a Shuri's Lab could be a very treacherous card. Location. Let's get a 6 on the Power Stone. Maybe look at moving over that Soul Stone in exchange to get the double ongoing effect. We see Black Cat disappear. And debating. Should we double up the Cull into Shuri's Lab and then slide over the Power Stone? Owie's looking at the full RNG of Lockjaw being the saving grace for Mojo World. All they have to really focus on is securing that Mojo World to 4. Simultaneously, it could be a great call for Andre to lock in that Mojo World early. But let's see what pops into Lockjaw first. He only plays one card. That could be our Jubilee, making her reappearance onto the Mojo World, giving a double draw moment. We have Jubilee drawing out a Death. Big, powerful card that removes the Professor X play from consideration as Jubilee disappears in the Lockjaw and then pulls back out an Infinite on top of it. So now that is almost looking like a straight-up forfeit location for Andre, focusing his energy and power potentially back into the Onslaught Citadel while he's already got a 20 power advantage in Shuri's Lab. Now, the double ongoing Devil Dino looks very appealing right now into Onslaught Citadel. Looks very appealing right now. Ooh, risky Professor X, but with the curve advantage, I like it. There's no energy cheat possibility right now into Shuri's Lab. So even if they do play into it, it should be a lock location. There we go, securing the Shuri's Lab versus Dracula right now. So Mojo World is a full forfeit location. Blade disappears, and then we see a Magneto. So Mojo World, look, we get it. Owie, you've got that. That's all you at this point. The discard aspect has only hit one card, though. We did see Black Cat disappear, so we could still see Hela being dropped down into Onslaught Citadel. But with the advantage, Andre's got to feel really good right now with that Goliath in his hand. I don't think there's really too much that Owie can do here, unless if he's sitting on what? Magneto's out there, Infinite's out there, Death is out there. Black Cat's been discarded. What are all of the possible potential hits of that Dracula? And is 9 power going to be enough? Andre thinks that it is. This could be it for Owie. Owie sitting with a very scary moment because we have not seen Goliath make its appearance. It's been ingested by the blob a couple of times, so Owie should know that it does exist. But are they playing it? We don't know. We're never going to know what that discard card was. It only hits a Lady Sif, and that secures it. Andre taking down the captain, Owie, from Team Owie. Congratulations, Andre. It is now 1-2-1. Boom. It is officially a 1-to-1 matchup at the moment. Congratulations, Andre. We're going to see you in the next round. Stand by. It is 1-to-1. Remember, this is a 3v3 matchup system. The full team needs to be eliminated. Each team has lost one player so far in Team Owie versus Team Sizer. Stick around. We'll be right back with the next matchup. It's like 200 cards in the game. Oh, I'm good. That's amazing. That's unbelievably amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Rose, for the victory confetti. Do it again. All the confetti. All the confetti. Dreams and memes. You're having a great time watching this one. I know that for damn sure. I can't believe it took it down. Ah, yes. You know, let's bring him back to 5-8 again, guys. I appreciate that.
Everybody get your fucking hands up.
There it is. All right, we have Andre matching up right now as we speak here in the background. So thanks for sticking around, everybody, for that short break. This is live here at the Johnson Cup. We're in the semifinals of Series A right now, Team Sizer versus Team Owie. We are continuing on with the matchups as Andre is pairing up as we speak. Let's switch over there, see the matchup get put together. Andre, good luck to you. You've just taken down the captain of the ship for Team Owie. Let's see who your next opponent is going to end up being. So, once again, yesterday we saw the round of 16 and round of 8. Today will be the semifinals and the finals for Series A. This evening will be a continuation of last night's Series B groupings on KM Best's channel as well. The winner of Group A will face the winner of Group B also later on this evening when all is said and done. So today's winner in this broadcast will be back on much later on this evening as well, depending on when and where you're watching. That broadcast, once again, is on KM Best's channel, which will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 7 Central, 5 Pacific, 2 a.m. European Time, and 7 p.m. Korean Standard Time. I believe I got all my time zones right in there. It's a lot of time zones to remember off the top of your head. So bear with me. And look, I'm not muted. So I'm happy to be getting into the next part of the match. We're waiting for Andre to have his code be accepted. As you can well see here, we are ready and set to go. Watching from Andre's point of view. Beautiful. Just waiting for the acceptance to head on over. Let's switch back over here, give you a quick update on exactly what's happening here in these brackets. If you'd like to take a look at the brackets, you can type in !bracket at any point. It'll show you the 2 links to the 2 different brackets that are here at the Johnston Cup, because there are 2 non-Korean groups. There is 1 Korean bracket as well. Everybody's going to be facing off regularly. So let's switch on over just to give you a quick idea of where we still are with our brackets as the matchups are ongoing. We do have bracket B. This was the group last night on KM Best's channel. We will see Team Spyro once again against Team Desert Fox. That, I believe, is going to end up being the feature match. And then KX4N versus Team Get Wrecked. We saw some fan favorites, including last year's runner-up, Team W, get eliminated in the quarterfinals. We did also see some brand new players to this competitive scene in Team Teeves, like the King of Canada. They unfortunately were eliminated in the quarterfinals as well. Some big names were eliminated in Team Jeff Hoogland by Urban. So Hoogland, Cozy, and Rivas were taken on down, and our Brazilian brother in Peralta was eliminated very early as well too. Lots of big names you will be able to see again this evening, and we're getting into the best of the best. In our bracket here in Group A, we do see the ongoing matchup is still going right now between Team Zariweya, who we featured early yesterday's broadcasts, versus Team Tae Shin, who's still hanging on for dear life right now. after eliminating in a full sweep against Marvel Snap Zone's Team Den. So Aoi versus Sizer is going to be facing the winner here of Tae-Shin versus Zari. If you want to take a look at those brackets, once again, you can type in !bracket and take a look for yourself to see where everyone is going. There have been some big upsets over the last few days, and we may see a few more potentially today. So who do you have in this race? Who are you supporting? Let us know in the chat. Who are you here for? Because I'm here for some great matches. We've seen some incredible RNG play on out. The MVPs of this tournament today and tonight, hands down right now, have been Lockjaw, Thanos, and Hella. Those are the three big names we're seeing everywhere in the competitive scene. It's just a matter of which one do you need to pull out when. We've seen some players bring in their Loki decks. We've seen Loki even make an appearance into Thanos, but it has been a hit or miss situation. We are waiting right now for that matchup to, I think it's down to deck selection moment for Team Aoi. That's it. They're in deck selection mode as we get ready for the next matchup. We're going to go ahead and make sure we have our layout set up and properly on the back end. Beautiful. All right, it looks like they've made their decisions. It looks like Wender for Team Aoi is going to be the next up. Now, for those who don't know anything really necessarily about Team Aoi, Wender is a free-to-play player, completely free-to-play, and now here into the semifinals of these tournaments. Let this be a lesson to all of you who are coming into Marvel Snap or play Marvel Snap, and you don't have to be the biggest whale. You just have to be one of the best players. And Wendy now here on Wender here on Team Aoi is proof of that. It is just about your skill with the cards that you have. Now, what Wender brings to the table, we don't know. It could be a Thanos deck. They could be a Loki deck. Could be whatever they decide to unlock in this moment. We're going to find out all together. So stick around as Wender is now getting his live broadcast up and set so we can take a look. We're going to be looking once again from Andre's point of view. Lastly, on Team Aoi, is going to be, looks like Pick potentially. If we end up getting to that, Wender's logging in. There's the live broadcast coming through. So we'll be up and live with Andre in just a moment. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back. Good. Okay. I saw your tournament trailer in STG's Discord. Did that happen yet? No, it has not happened yet. There was going to be another trailer. There will be another thing that comes out. Okay. There'll be another thing that comes out that will be explaining more very soon. So give me time. But it will happen in the month of October. I will tell you that. And we are off. Here we go. It is Andre versus Wender. Wender for Team Aoi and Wender for Team Aoi, and once again Andre for Team Sizer. So good luck to both players. Let's see what happens here. And it looks like it's a Thanos on Thanos matchup once again. The featured card seems to be for this tournament. Now, which variation Wender brings to the table should be interesting. It's going to be the defining moment here. Each player does still have some surprise cards. As we get a snap, it looks like, from Wender bright and early, even though Andre's played down his Mind Stone on 2. Gotta be feeling good here. So, I mean, we could see a very quick game. Here we go. Jeff dropping into the raft. Here's a couple of stone draws. And a Mojo World on top. So what is more important to you in this moment? Is it going to be getting the free card from the raft or making sure you have 4 cards right away into Mojo World for an easier, secure win? And it's leaning towards Wender. He has his movable piece in Jeff, taking that free card as Andre tried to go for it into the raft. We are playing a Shang-Chi in this deck. So now we do have a big threat. We did not see this in the last couple of Thanos decks. Shang-Chi did not make an impact nor an appearance, but we don't know if Wender is also playing a Kyera for that protection side as well, where Shang-Chi's then limited to essentially only 2 major targets that we see regularly in Thanos decks, Devil Dinosaur and Cull Obsidian. And it looks like a straight load up is happening right now in Mojo World. Power on power, that Dino's going to feel pretty good, but there is a flexible Jeff still available in the raft, so that could be stolen at some point as well. Nice secure pieces here. And we see the Shang-Chi now come down from Wender to take out the Devil Dino. Protection is officially gone. We have a double Shang-Chi happening here. Kyera's 1 turn too late, and now putting Andre at a 4-cube disadvantage moment here. We've got the flexible Jeff of the raft. We've got the protection into the danger room. No big cards have been dropped yet, but it's so tough to decide which location is going to be important here as Andre takes a 2-cube retreat in round 1 of Wender versus Andre. Waiting on the retreat as Wender's deciding right now which direction to go. This is a smart retreat by Andre. Let's be honest. It's a smart retreat. There's not a lot of power on the board for either player right now. And the RNG of trying to decide, can I take over the danger room, as Jeff could very easily just fill up Mojo World. There's no way for really Andre to put down 2 cards in any valuable method. And even if they did put both into Mojo World, it's not going to feel good. It's a good retreat getting into round 2 on our Thanos on Thanos moment. Alliance in hand for Andre makes it a much easier decision on as Mojo World hits again. This seems to be like the 3rd or 4th appearance of Mojo World in the last few games, but don't worry, location batching is not real. What do you think? Ooh. Reality Stone switch to protect that Space Stone feels like a very solid play. Wender popping down his first card into Mojo World. Xandar giving a pretty minimal advantage comparatively. And a Power Stone point play. Kyera drops into Muir Island and start accuring that big, tall Jeff right now. Stack and stack and stack. That's got to feel good. Slight advantage for Andre as he's sitting there with that Professor X debating if he has the ability to lock down one of these locations bright and early. He feels that he does into Xandar, and Wender's not going to have anything to deal with it.
Surprise attacks.
This is on a 10-minute delay. Welcome in, the delayed welcome in, I should say, to comics fans and friends. 22 of you, thank you so much for joining our broadcast here of the Johnson Cup. For those who do not know, my name is Guest, also known as ItsGuestGaming. I'm your official caster here for the Johnson Cup. We're currently in the semifinals of Team Sizer versus Team Owie, as we see another retreat for Andre from Team Sizer going up against Wender for Team Owie. This is a full 3v3 matchup and elimination. Each team has already lost one player as District Dex comes down to shuffle up both Thanos players' decks. This is the full RNG moment in the competition, but Andre's got to feel pretty good right now with a blob in hand plus a time stone. Great starting advantage as Wender's about to lose 3 power as Murder World drops down 2. Unknown Mysterios. We know it's got to be either left or right at this point. Where's your 4? Rocket Raccoon was a guaranteed hit then, essentially. As we get our time stone on 3 to maybe play out that black bolt, as we get extra free cards now coming down from Maximus. So with the clogged hand, sitting and hovering over that black bolt, could be looking at a point advantage by taking in Murder World potentially. I mean, you could steal it also into District Dex, because Mysterios are exactly that, mysterious. No energy cheat available to try to capitalize on that Nick Fury. There's no Quinjet being played, no Elysium on the board. So do you look at maybe just double protection with getting 2 Shang-Chis via Moon Girl? Do you go by just your straight up strongest power play into Black Bolt in hopes that maybe you hit your opponent also sitting on a blob? You could go for the safety of that Moon Knight, but they're going to go with a Silver Surfer for 2 just to say that they did, as it tosses their Arrow, which is their lowest power card in their hand. At 9 power, that's the lowest power card. So that speaks volumes about what Wender's doing here in combination with that Silver Surfer. These are some pretty big cards, and that top-decked Ronin has got to now feel much better as a potential play. I like the hover of the snap here, because they are sitting on just some big beefy cards while you've already got a 7-point advantage into Murder World. Playing that Ronin out right now could be pretty big. All right, there's your second arrow. It's a second arrow, so Wender's playing arrow in their deck as well. Interesting. Okay, we learned a little bit more. I must have missed the border on the last arrow. I did not think that was a part of their deck. Not a common combination, but we are starting to see it arise more and more and more recently in Thanos decks. Arrow showing her prowess of control with great stats underneath Shang-Chiable ranges. I like the security of the blob here, but we're not sure still yet where that Mysterio is. 7 on the Black Bolt in the mid is a little risky because we know that there is going to be still some pretty big cards coming down at some point from Wender, as we saw that arrow get discarded by Black Bolt earlier. This is a little bit of a risky play rather than super stacking into one location for security. And they go for the snap lock-in, thinking it's going to be enough. I think they feel confident about Mysterio potentially being on the right-hand side. As Blob comes on down, that's going to give them District X most likely for only 10 power, as we see Captain America and Jeff the Baby Landshark make it a tie into the center. And Mysterio over on the right gives it 15 to 11 versus 11 on 6. That is going to be 4 cubes then for Andre's favor, bringing Wender down to 5 versus Andre's 7. It ate a whole bunch of randomness, so I mean, it's just curious more than anything else. All right, here we go. So now we know there's an arrow to also have to factor in on these turn 5s. Jeff into the raft to get us started, a time stone draw, holding the reality stone if it feels to be a threat. But the Polaris also probably feels pretty good simultaneously. Good stats, moves out a time stone, keeps it in control. Instead, they're going to look at a soul stone to be a valuable 1/5 and remove the potential of the raft. All right. There we go. Drops on down the Soul Stone. There's your reveal. Reality Stone flips the raft into Xandar. Small advantage at the moment to Andre, who reveals his cards for the first time. There's your Mind Stone, popping a couple of extras. So we could see a Reality Stone flip into Mindscape, and the free Devil Dino from Deathlock from Camp Lehigh drops into the mid as Devil Dino's drawn into Andre's hand. Limited options for Andre, either a little bit of movement and control. And it looks like, yeah, it's just a power play at this moment. Just a power play. As we have a Space Stone and a Soul Stone, still waiting on maybe having Mindscape drop down with a Reality Stone from Wender. Is he looking to play into the chaos? Tough call to decide what to do here. Do you try to go for the lockdown moment, knowing that you have a flexible Jeff if you can secure Mindscape? Do you go for the Devil Dino power play? Or do you put down Polaris and a Power Stone to start spreading out your power for a more flexible turn 6? Shang-Chi doesn't have a lot of value on turn 5 here. Tough calls. Tough calls. And he's going to go for the lock. He's going to try to secure Xandar with 3 cards already there to give a flexible lead, potentially. There's the movement of the Cull Obsidian. That is a huge pull by Arrow as Professor X loses its benefit with the movement of Jeff. It is a tiebreaker situation now. That is a huge Arrow. What a defensive move. And now we have a full-on who can tackle over who dynamic. Magneto for 12 is the highest power currently. But the advantage is happening on Wender's side. The scary moment could be the fact that Wender knows he gave out a Shang-Chi. Both players did. So Magnetos who were exchanged between both players were also eliminated from potential contention. So the 11 power in Camp Lehigh does feel pretty secure, trying to snipe. But that's what you have to decide. Is it worth it to try to snipe one location or play around it? Because they still could Shang-Chi that Cull Obsidian in Mindscape. Wender is holding the opponent's Shang-Chi. They're both holding each other's Shang-Chis. And because of that, Andre feels that it's better to just retreat for 2 here and bring it to a full tie 5v5. Tough move. That Arrow slide was the MVP move of that round, hands down. Dragging out that Cull Obsidian at the last moment. That is one to remind everyone that Arrow is still a valuable card. Interesting. With Attilan down and a bunch of your stones in hand, with the Lockjaw getting an early draw, is it even worth it to play your Mind Stone at this point to shuffle it back into the deck? Or is it more valuable to shuffle back in the Soul Stone? Andre's liking his RNG on this, knowing that he can still drop a couple of big cards. He can still drop a Mind Stone into Lockjaw and put a Soul Stone into Attilan. As Wender goes to play a Time Stone, even if a Reality Stone is drawn in this moment or played in this moment, they feel good. And there's Triskelion to mix everything up. With the Scarlet Witch draw on Triskelion, Attilan keeps everything in hand with a super giant, which is a huge, huge winning card potentially for Andre. Super giant into these Thanos decks is a great tech tool that we saw obviously very heavy in her premiere week, but started to fade away as we progressed into the new Corvus Clave meta and seeing these new hella versions of Thanos. So in this one, it's very interesting. The Juggernaut play backfires as a Mind Stone gets passed over via Machine World. Scarlet Witch shuffles into the Mirror Dimension, and now it's a full-on mega card exchange, but we are sitting on one Reality Stone at least to try to remove some of what Machine World could do. So the question becomes, do you Supergiant and allow delays in exchanges? Ooh, this is tough. Look at all of the unpredictability happening right now. We have full hands, it looks like, to be on most situations, right? We had the card draws, we had the Machine World exchanges. Looking at a protective armor potentially. And they're dropping it down as they slide over their Juggernaut out of the Triskelion and put a Cull Obsidian base level that could have been drawn by Triskelion as well. Washington, D.C. is the converted lane into the left as Lockjaw tosses out that Soulstone, brings out a blob to absorb up to 19 power, go over the top of the Cull Obsidian in that lane, and it's a tied up, oh, sorry, under because of the Soulstone. It's 5-4 advantage for Wender in the mid. Very small advantage, but it did eat a couple of big core key cards from with that blob. Shang-Chi in hand versus the Cull Obsidians. Gotta feel good right now, so we're looking at a point advantage somewhere. Try to flex around maybe the armor even with the Space Stone. You've got a couple of options to play with. Move out the weaker Time Stone for no reason. Slide an easy power in there. Try to steal it with a Devil Dino play. Let's find out. Put on down the Shang-Chi, get rid of the Cull Obsidian out of Triskelion, which is going to toss back into Lockjaw and pop out an Alioth to remove the unrevealed card in Triskelion. Huge hit coming out of that Lockjaw. Huge hit. What a combo in the Triskelion lane right there. Lockjaw slowly showing his value more and more and more every day in the Marvel Snap meta. What a play. Andre and Wender here. If they go to the final, this could knock out one of our players here. Both of them are in for 4 at minimum with 5 currently in hand. As Andre looks to potentially slide over just the Scarlet Witch for 6 power on DC in a sniping attempt to steal possibly the Devil Dino lane. What is now the Devil Dino lane. And that's what he does. Wender says, I don't want anything to do with it after losing whatever that potentially valuable card out of Triskelion was. And now Wender has to win 3 in a row here in the high stakes round number 7, 8, and 9 to try to take down Andre, as the Daily Bugle gives an exchange here of a Time Stone to something. Big moves in that one. What a Lockjaw moment. Woo! Hope y'all are enjoying this, man, as much as I am, because looking at these games, casting these games, looking at some incredibly top-tier gameplay, this is what Marvel Snap, in my opinion, is exactly about. If you like the competitive scene here of Marvel Snap, make it known. Let the devs know. Share it via all your favorite socials. let people know that competitive Marvel Snap is where it needs to be. Go for the double energy into Vormir on 2, giving them 5 to float around that vision on turn 3. There we go. All right. They are sitting on their Kyera now. Soul and Reality into a Lechugia. And a free monster for everybody. Advantage slightly over to actually Andre, even though he's in the point disadvantage because there's no Shang-Chi available on that monster, even though Andre could draw his to eliminate theirs. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this morning here for the Johnson Cup. If you enjoy this type of commentary, you're going to see a lot more of it. We have a lot of casting coming to this channel, a lot more events as well. So make sure you hit that follow button, subscribe if you support. We greatly appreciate you here on the guest list. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be a morning streamer regularly as we do full-time here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays regularly. This is a special event, so I'm casting all weekend as well. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really do warmly appreciate your support. As we see the vision now get dropped, and we're going with the Cull Obsidian protection into Monster Island for the same reason as that monster talked about earlier. I am just as much of a fan of that Cull Obsidian play into Monster Island for some safe and protected power. So the Soul Stone helping Andre pretty heavily. There we go. Drop down the Cull. It's a Cull on Cull turn 4. And now some turn 5 fun and chaos could come to be. You've got a pretty solid hand, so playing into Lechugia does have some reward to it this turn. I don't believe we've seen too many chaoses also from a turn 5 potential. So we could see Lechugia come to be on turn 5 for either player right now. And the Devil Dino brings it currently over the top at 23. Now, they both have floating visions. These are always the dangerous moments here in Marvel Snap. Floating visions, but a full Devil Dino. So the Devil Dino kind of looks like a hot spot target at the moment, where we could see a Shang-Chi power switch. Tough calls here. Tough calls here. Leaving 15 in Daily Bugle, if you do play out the 1, would be a tiebreaker situation. Try to plop the blob over and just bring it to a straight-up tiebreaker. If nothing gets played into Daily Bugle, go super tall into the blob lane. Drag over the vision. So that way it could be another tiebreaker situation into Lechugia. But vision slides over, so that's going to go to Daily Bugle. Daily Bugle over to Wender. The Blob absorbs on up, and they clog the mid with everything else. Here comes your Shang-Chi plus Space Stone. That's only going to give you 5. Your final card is a Time Stone. Wender, unfortunately, does not have enough to take down Andre, and Team Owie has now lost their second player. Andre with back-to-back wins right there, ladies and gentlemen, taking down 2 members of Team Owie. What a matchup, and we are heading into Owie's final leg. He has one more player to try to take down Team Sizer, who's going to now also have to have back-to-back wins. Stay tuned for the next match. We're going to take a short break, and we'll see y'all in just a few moments. Strategy play to get a deeper dive into exactly what else is in Yampol's deck. Sizer. Do you go for the risk of 4? No, let him take his 2. If he's sitting on that Hella and could call the Hella back, that's a good play. That's a good play.
Yeah! Oh, it's a tie! No, I forgot it's +2! Oh! And there is the Angela nerf in full throttle. Wait for it. Wait for it. Go. It's so
Red down on the one side. Then we Doctor Doom into Luke's bar and then flip it around. Yeah. Yeah, the camera freeze is real.
Surprise attacks!
Taken down Suns, and now we know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have an update. We have an update, as we did just get a wonderful, fun little raid. Thank you so much for coming on in. We are on a 10-minute delay, so Blazo Lord, thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate you. Now, here's the deal. Team Owie is actually eliminated. Team Owie, unfortunately, only was able to come on in with 2 players today. Therefore, the third player is non-existent, and it is an automatic forfeit. So, congratulations to Team Sizer. Team Sizer is going to be moving forward into the finals. Now, who their opponent is, we are not sure yet. We are still waiting to see the winner of Team Taishin versus Team Zariweya. But to give you a bracket overall update, let's take a look at the big board briefly here. So there we go. So Team Sizer is going to be advancing into the final position. Team Taishin versus Team Zariweya. Whoever is going to be taking on that champion. Let's see if we can get an update here on the back end. They are in their next match. Yeah, they are still battling and ongoing as we speak, as I double check here in the conversations. It looks like they may have just wrapped up one match, but they're up and going right now. So off they go. We're still waiting on that result. Once we have the result of Team Team Taishin versus Team Zariweya, we will then be going into the finals here for, well, Group A. Amazing to think. So congratulations to Team Sizer. We're going to be setting up here on the back end everything that we're going to need for the final presentation as well. So bear with me as we do so. Beautiful. One of the magics of live broadcasting when you do everything. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today as we take a look through that. We're going to get the update. Beautiful. I believe it's going to end up being Zariweya. I think they're up 2-1. It might be Zariweya. We're not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. Waiting on confirmation from our tournament director, Johnson. And please, can we give a shout out and respect to Johnson, ladies and gentlemen? He's put together an absolutely incredible tournament series that has captured literally the entire world of Marvel Snap. And news has just come on through. It is confirmed that our Group A final here for the Johnson Cup Group A is going to be Sizer versus Team Zariweya. Zariweya coming back into the broadcast once again, making it all the way through the finals. We're going to be setting that up then. Let's make sure we give them their proper respect. So congratulations to both teams making it all the way through, grinding it down. What a group. What a group. We're going to try to take a look at as many different points of view on this matchup as possible. We're going to open. Let's see. Beautiful. We're going to open with Team Zariweya today. Hopefully we did that right. Beautiful. All right, it looks like they're getting themselves matched up. Beautiful. They're getting themselves matched up. We're going to be getting ready here. We'll see y'all back here in just about 1 minute. So thank you all so much for hanging out and supporting here at the Johnson Cup with me, Guest, also known as ItsGuestGaming. Yeah. Yeah, the camera freeze is real. Oh my God. Because of the ordering, it considers it not enabled on the ongoing. Are you kidding me? Ordering is important. Down on it. All right. Kai no Kai. Because Kai Kai's. Snapping.
Oh, snap.
Oh, that's interesting. So Hercules activates before the Grandmaster ability finishes, so it didn't reactivate Strange's ability. It's an internal... Oh, that sucks.
That's funny. The last card I played was the Iron Fist. But Time Theater sees it as Hulk, so give me a Hulk. That's fun. That's so cool. Yeah, right there. Take a look. Boom. Congratulations to our winners. It's Guest Gaming. Baby Shark for the win. Hell yeah. Love it. And Stegron has won tournaments on unrevealed movement before. So seeing that is actually a very big thing. Juggernaut and Arrow. Old Arrow is almost back to her full glory, but she's still okay-ish. And Phoenix Force is a deck that we all should be experimenting with once again. Because it's really damn strong now. And there you go. It's gonna hit Eliath. It's gonna hit Eliath. It hits fucking Eliath! Let's go!
Wind, aid my
Let's
hand.
go! Woo! Oh! Oh! It was only 2 cubes, but it was so damn nerve-wracking.
Victory.
Let's just spread the love. Oh man, if this can hit the Hobgoblin, this will be amazing. Grandmaster, don't give me Doom. Hit the Hobgoblin. Oh, that's so damn dirty. Oh, that's so damn. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the finals here of Group A, the non-Korean group for the Johnson Cup. It's going to be Team Zariweya versus Team Sizer. Here on the back end, they're sharing their codes right now, so we're going to be switching over to that gameplay in just a moment. Codes are being exchanged around. They're saying, good luck, have fun. Oh boy. I hope y'all are ready for a really intense matchup. Who knows what they're going to bring to the table? Do you think it's going to be Hela? Do you think it's going to be Thanos? Do you think it's going to be Loki? Do you think it's going to be something else? What do you think should be brought into these finals? What do you think is going to happen? And who do you think is going to end up in the full matchup? Who do you have? Who is your horse in this race? So welcome in, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you all for hanging out here on the guest list, where we have way too much fun here with Marvel Snap. There we go. Beautiful. Zariweya confirming the receipt of that code. It looks like it'd be going to be crazy leading off for Team Sizer, and it looks like Zariweya, the team captain, is going to be potentially leading off for Team Zariweya. So thank you so much for hanging out for us as we get the matchup up and running. And once again, for those who are just joining us, we are, as you can see down below here, we are on a 10-minute delay for competitive integrity. So thank you so much for enjoying today's broadcast. Typically here on the guest list, we like to play live and live interact with chat in full real time. However, This is an incredibly important competition for many, many players, and I'm glad that you're here enjoying that content, looking to see the top end of competitive Marvel Snap additionally. So we can dive into that content safely so our competitors can not have to worry or focus about if their hands are going to be revealed. Different competitions do like to do different types of gameplay on delay. Sometimes it's 2 minutes, sometimes it's 3 minutes, sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 10 minutes. For the Johnson Cup, we do rock a 10-minute delay. So even as we saw, if you were here earlier in the broadcast, sometimes mistakes happen, and if they happen for 10 solid minutes until the chat says something. So thank you so much for being here with me today. I greatly appreciate all of the support that has happened over this weekend here at the Johnson Cup. Hundreds of new people have signed their name up on the guest list, and if you'd like to support the channel, please do so with a follow or subscribe and get all of those fun emotes to share in your favorite Twitch streams. We're heading on in. It looks like Yampol is being switched in as our first opponent in this matchup. Let's join the game right now. It's Yampol versus Crazy. Here we go. Leech, Thanos versus some other type of Thanos. Here's how we start. Now, once again, because we are playing from Yampol's point of view, we have some new challenges for your caster here, remembering how confident I can be with location names. So let's bring it on. Here we go. So we're opening up with cloning vats, the hub, and the big house to start us off. Two space stones in hand could make the big house a lot of fun as a later draw. I like the idea of removing the duplicate potential. Considering all of the card draws, this is more of a defensive move, I'd say, for Yampol, just to make sure that he has enough room in his hand consistently. Sewer System drops into the left-hand side as the Time Stone draws a Space Stone, disappears in a Lockjaw, and pops out a Soul Stone to drop down Jeff and take over the middle lane. Advantage still over into Crazy's hand at the moment, though. The Crossbones does have some potential play if we can steal a little bit of a lead over into the Sewer System, but go ahead and leech out later on. Looks like Yampol's debating about that Crossbones as a last-minute play with some movement. Can't get out that Crossbones quite yet. But maybe just the security of Leech temporarily. Now, it would be a very weak lane overall, which is, I think, the biggest hesitation right now. It's a very restricted moment here. But they go with it. They lock down that Leech, securing a dead hand for turn number 6 as the second Space Stone disappears, pops out a Soul Stone. And Leech just has a good time. Now, the Space Stone does have to feel a little better right now. Putting in that Space Stone and possibly even Crossbones gives at least a bit of flexibility going into the final turn of the game. Maybe moving over a big card if we can Psylocke out something nice and secure too, and that's the direction they're going as the Mind Stone goes into the hub on the far side for Crazy, drawing 2 stones into the hand, disappears at a Lockjaw and pops out a Thanos to bring that over the top, plus a Cull Obsidian into the Sewer System, non-Shang-Chi-able at the moment, thanks to the reduction. Psylocke disappears into Lockjaw and pops out a Mind Stone, an incredibly weak call. Not a lot of power on the board for Yampol, even though he's rocking 7 energy to go into this final turn. Very tough situation here for Yampol to get out of and try to scale back over. Stealing into the big house is your biggest target at the moment, but there's not a lot to build on top of it. It looks like they're contemplating the semi-keyword risky play here of moving over that Lockjaw and maybe dropping in a Magneto as we see the snap come over from Crazy. And Yampol has no interest in moving forward for 4 cubes on this amount of insecurity. Goes ahead and hits the retreat later, waits for Crazy to finish his move. It's going to be 9 to 10 advantage into Crazy for Team Sizer. There we go. All right. Necrotia pops in first. Sits on that time stone while sitting on a 5 power card. We could see a later play potentially drop on down. Ooh. The throne room could play very heavily to both players' hands, let's be honest here. With a Sakar in our third location, free card to get dropped. Try to maybe maximize it by dropping down 2 other cards. I like this call. Just hope it doesn't hit your Shang-Chi. And the Reality Stone flips that over. No free card now as they pull the hub and a Grandmaster, which could feel potentially very good here. Getting some extra energy out of the Time Stone via the Grandmaster with a Cull Obsidian combo. There's a lot of options here now. And we get a snap. Four stones on the battlefield, and they feel strong playing that leech on turn 4 potentially. And they're looking at maybe even the energy cheat now. Yample says it doesn't feel good and backs away again for another cube. That's another cube off of Team Zariweya. Yample hanging on, looking for some better draws. The locations definitely didn't help there as we go to round number 3. Machine World. First location pops up to the left-hand side. And a Time Stone bright and early just to get your card draw rocking. The Reality Stone flips it into New York. One of the most precarious locations for wild turn 6 plays. Hopefully that's how it pans out as Vormir appears in the center of the map. Tough call here. You want to take advantage of your energy via the Time Stone from turn 1. And it looks like Crazy's just going to go for the elimination aspect of Vormir versus Yample, who could play only 1s and 6s safely into Vormir, unless if they wish to toss out everything. Now, Nor Dimension is a big location combination right now for these players. Big location combination for these players. I like the call also of redirecting that Psylocke. Originally, they were thinking about plopping that Psylocke into Vormir, destroy and remove the condition from that instance, but now it looks like they're going to be using that Jhin that will pop into their hand as their Vormir clearer and get a head start on their energy advantage that way. 2 stones into the hand. Here comes your Jeff, followed by a Time Stone. Everybody with the extra energy at the moment. Jhin in hand, that's the clearer, and then playing down a Mobius into their deck additionally. Now, if Crazy has a Corvus variation, that Mobius is going to be big. If this is going to be some kind of discard version of Thanos, which we have seen several times so far in these broadcasts, but otherwise it might be a potentially dead pull. Everybody with the extra energy, putting down the Soul Stone, trying to keep advantage in the Nor Dimension. This looks like probably clogging your mid and right at the moment, just to try to find some flexibility and leave some movement to happen in New York. Now, remember, Blob, even though the location priority does try to push out, Blob cannot be moved. So wherever he gets plopped on down, that's where he's staying the whole rest of the match. So instead, it looks like they're playing into a Magneto thought to clog New York. If Crazy had priority, I could 100% agree with that move. But right now on the board, you have no 3s and 4s. That's a much tougher call to make. I like the Blob security into Nor Dimension as well. Nice and safe move. Leave 2 pieces available. Try to get that cheaper Scar. If they play down the Jin, they're going to end up with 8 power when all is said and done. Scar's going to drop down to a 4 cost additionally. So we could see 2 cards drop still with card movement. Blob ingests 16, so a mediocre Blob when all is said and done. Here's your extra 2 energy. Soulstone to drop down the Nor Dimension a tad, put another Jin into the hand, flips over their own Blob into Vormir. So those lanes are looking pretty big. That Shang-Chi being absorbed is what he's most upset about right now. Yample, very sad to see that he cannot pull his own Shang-Chi. Curious to see what they could pull, but now we've got our 2 4s in hand. The Cull Obsidian was probably the best top deck that they could have pulled right there, knowing that they can drop a 10 and an 11, because as we've all very well learned here, you cannot Shang-Chi every lane. So dividing that up could be the ultimate factor right here, and we don't know if Crazy has Shang-Chi in their hand. The Chimera protecting that Blob is going to be the biggest piece to this, in my opinion. Trying to then decipher where you spread out the rest of your power, knowing that that could potentially still be a threat. I will say, critiquing Yample, I'm surprised that he or she has not been clicking into that Blob to see if Shang-Chi is even a threat. And that's something we've noticed from some of our top competitors over the last several days, using the information from Blob to try to take advantage of where you think X, Y, or Z is going to happen based on cards that we know are no longer in consideration to be in your hand. If there's any great critique I could make about the gameplay from the last several days of watching, it's this. And finally, there we go. They're clicking on in, taking a look, and seeing that Magneto is no longer an option. So that 12 power play, which brought the Blob over the top to the 19, is valuable right here. There is the threat of Shang-Chi now in existence to try to hit potentially the Scar or the, to potentially hit the Cull Obsidian Scar, even though at 4 will still be protected by Chimera. Here we go. All the movements. It looks like a sacrifice potential lane over in New York as Jeff slides on down. Scar flips on over, which is going to give New York over to Yample. Cull Obsidian flips into the Nor Dimension, puts another Jin back into the hand. The opponent flips over a Devil Dinosaur with 11 power, plus a Jin, shooting that up to 13. And one more card. It's that Jin to 23 in total. It is not going to be enough to win it. It is going to be enough to tie it. It's a tiebreaker, 15v12. And Yample takes 2 cubes finally off of Crazy, bringing it down 8-8, moving into round number 4. Very close right there. Lots of tough decisions, lots of moving cards and pieces. You had Jeffs, you had Space Stones, you had New York. There was so much unpredictability. But the only certainty were those Blobs not moving and Shang-Chi being absorbed on Yample's side. That much information gave enough for each player to start making some accurate decisions, and it just barely leaned over into Yample's advantage. Great match right there. Lots of stones to boot as we end up Shadow World, Asgard, and the Raft. Does Mobius hold value? Are they looking to try to take advantage of that Asgard, try to lead into it? It looks like they're going to hold it. So that way they're giving them the Raft, saying you can take a free 6-cost card, that's fine, but you are not going to be able to get it for 0. So now playing into Asgard looks a lot more appealing. Draw 2 stones, try to steal the extra card draw away from them. The Cull Obsidian comes on down. Lockjaw's going to have a pretty big piece here. It pulls a Thanos. It's enough to take the advantage, take it away from Crazy. That middle lane has now interfered with Crazy twice, back-to-back turns, with this interference. No player's going to have the advantage they necessarily want right now. And with only 3 power into the raft, it's tempting to look at that Cull Obsidian and say, I have a choice for you here. I love the late potential movement there of that Space Stone as Shang-Chi comes down into Asgard, takes out that Cull Obsidian, locks that lane to 17 right now for Crazy. Reality Stone flips Asgard into X Mansion, disappears into Lockjaw, pops out of Mind Stone once again, making its reappearance and drawing 2 stones into the hand for turn 6, filling their hand, and now they're locked in there. Weak cards on Yampol's side right here. This is round number 4, and that ninja movement is pretty heavily forecasting. This is a lane sacrifice potential move for the raft. Is there a way for them to steal Shadow World if they Magneto over? That's going to put them at 16, sliding over 13 power into a -2. That would be 16 on 15. Sorry, 11. My apologies. They undo their movements. 6 cards in the hand for Crazy. Do they have a mechanic to try to steal the raft? Tossing in a Power Stone, high rolling it. They are sitting on their Cull, Magneto, and Blob. We saw their Thanos already get destroyed. So what could potentially pop out of X Mansion to steal the win? I don't know, but they dropped down a Magneto to slide over the Lockjaw and Kyera into the Shadow World. That's going to bring a whole whopping total up to 5 with the flip on over. Power Stone disappears into the X Mansion, pops out a Shang-Chi, which hits the Cull Obsidian. Not enough. So close. But the raft is going to be flipped on over to advantage of Yampol. And just like that, Crazy steals back 2 cubes with a huge, huge movement there from Magneto. Magchizo, Magneto, whatever you wish to call him. He's just given 2 more cubes to advantage on Crazy. Wow. Interesting. Interesting play here. Time Stone, Mobius. Look at a little bit of rotation out to try and get the Sacred Timeline filled early. Playing out the Mobius doesn't have necessarily the advantage we may need or want. Both players are still looking at trying to fill up that Sacred Timeline pretty quickly by turn 4 as a Devil Dino pops out a Lockjaw for Crazy, who tosses. Yampol's got a stone for stone switch, which pulls out a Reality Stone, putting in Strange Academy instead. So now we've got the random tosses for turn 5 for 6 cards landing everywhere else. And now it's an interesting match. Now we've got an interesting setup here where we've got to keep an eye on where does everything from Strange Academy land. If we're going to clog it with a Leech and a Mind Stone, that Mind Stone is going to clog their hand, but we are sitting on a Blob. Blob is not the worst thing in the world considering the cards that we also have on the battlefield, knowing that it could be an over-the-top Blob since we're sitting still with Thanos and Magneto also waiting in the deck. I do like this call. It is a little bit of a risk call to clog the hand, saying that I'm all in on Blob and just wait to see where all of the other stones land. But by playing out the Power Stone, it allows for that card draw potential, and let's see what then also draws out of Strange Academy. Nothing is moving here, ladies and gentlemen. Professor X comes down on crazy side of the battlefield as Lockjaw moves over, pops out of Shang-Chi. The Leech comes on back. Lockjaw, with that Power Stone, is going to be stuck there as only the Jeff, who has the full flexibility of movement, is able to move out of the Professor X from that Strange Academy lane. It still allows a lead for the advantage on Crazy, and now you have to decide, with Shang-Chi already being pulled out on the board, are you able to take over 2 lanes right now? And with Crazy having the priority, Devil Dino on the board. We haven't seen Magneto yet. Magneto would be sliding out potentially a Mobius exclusively. That would drop down the Wakandan embassy to 7 power. With the activation of the Soul Stone, that would then drop down the opposite end on Crazy's side to 5 power, and Shang-Chi could eliminate that threat of Magneto. Tough calls here. Tough calls here. He's very heavily expecting a big card into the sewer system. He has seen Crazy move around several cards with a Magneto on turn 6. He locks in thinking that it's going to happen. There's the Reality Stone into the Wakandan embassy. Oh no. Here we go. Power Stone flips on over. It's a vision, but it goes underneath the Shang-Chi level due to the sewer system. That stone is going to be eliminated on the far side as we have a Thanos activation with the last stone being popped on down. 1 stone disappears. It's not enough. And Yampol going big on that Shang-Chi all in. Thanks to the Wakandan Embassy hope and prayer, it's not enough to come back over the top and take down Crazy. Crazy for Team Sizer brings on a 1-game lead, eliminating the first opponent, Yampol from Team Zariweya. That means Zariweya is the first X of the day, and we get ready for match number 2. Very close there, went all in on the Shang-Chi. You can't Shang-Chi everywhere, though, as we well know. But the sewer system locations and the RNG are what came to be over the top. So very exciting first match here for the Group A final. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're going to take a short break and get ready for match number 2. Fantastic, Brad. Fantastic editing as well. We're not going to do the montage fast forward here, so you're not going to have to watch this whole portion. But again, great editing on that. So this is for you. You're not the only one who gets absolute dog shit splits. There you go. Down on it. All right. Kai no Kai. Because Kai Kai's. We're snapping.
Oh, snap.
It's gonna hit Eliath. It's gonna hit Eliath. It hits fucking Eliath! Let's go!
Wind, aid my
Let's
hand.
go! It was only 2 cubes, but it was so damn nerve-wracking.
Victory.
But hang on, gameplay is important. Okay, I'm trying to think. So Omega Red down, right? Omega Red down on the one side. Then we Doctor Doom into Luke's bar and then flip it around. Yeah. Yeah, the camera freeze is real. You, Nightbot's getting sassy. New list, you're good to go. I figured out what it was. I was using wrong thing. I've been saved from the abyss. No! I think they outdo us. I think the total is still on their end. 138. 5, we tie. 6. All right, codes have been shared. It is time for Monkey versus Crazy. Let's swing on over to the action. Cards have been drawn, and it is Thanos on potentially Thanos once again for Crazy, probably coming back with the same deck one more time. Let's take a look, see how it plops on down. Ooh, interesting. Yep, same lockjaw, same routine, most likely. Yeah, looking at the board, should be the case. And a Murder World ruins the lockjaws. Double lockjaw elimination unless somebody's sitting on that reality stone right now. Ooh, that can't feel good. What a combination of locations to start up this finals match between Monkey and Crazy for Team Sizer and Team Zariweya. Woo, boy. He's banking pretty heavily on the idea that he's going to play out a Power Stone. Both of them were relying on each other for Reality Stones. Neither happened. We see Soul. We see Space. We see Mind. We see a Reality Stone get drawn, so everything's dying, including the Scar into Murder World. That can't feel good for Monkey, as they both have 2 cubes to boot here, but Kyera protects the Space Stone with a very, very close MVP moment. Now, Jeff, unfortunately, is exclusively a placeholder for the Space Throne, because one of the advantages of Jeff is that he can move into those locations as a second card. However, you cannot play that second card into the location that Jeff already exists in for the Space Throne. So it's a weird situation right now. So it's a single card play for one, potentially a double card play for Crazy if they're still pocketing their Jeff to try to go over the top. As we see Vision come on down, taking advantage of the extra energy. And we're sitting on a Leech too. So we could see a full Rainbow drop. We could see a Leech drop. We could see a couple of things drop right now. And it looks like they're leaning into that Leech line just in case. With an early Jeff move and an early Vision move, there are interesting moves here, trying to steal priority going into the next turn. Gets the prio in the Superflow. There's the blob into the Space Throne, protected at that to 22 power, 8/2 cards. there's your Thanos and your Magneto being absorbed. And now, with not a lot of power on the board, you've got to decide if you have even anywhere close to the ability to try to come back over the top. Because that would put 7 into Murder World if they left that as that, and then they could slide over their vision. Doesn't feel good for Monkey. He's hovering over the retreat button right now and probably leaning in that direction. This would be for 4 cubes with a very weak hand. Looking at the opposite side of the board, we know Crazy is also, of course, running the Cull Obsidian. So Cull Obsidian's very attractive right now into that Soulstone lane because it would stay under Shang-Chi height. Moving 7 more power, that'll bring 9 into play for the Superflow. That would be very risky. Monkey trying to figure out if there's any way to steal this right now. And almost out of time in the process. He's committing it. Yes? No? Maybe? Second guessing at the last second. He locks it in. There's a Jeff into the Superflow and the Cull Obsidian into Murder World. The flipped moments of that Shang-Chi 50-50 guessed it. It didn't have enough legs. It was just shy, and that's a huge 4-cube opening win for Crazy on the advantage. Was thinking over and over and over. Went to try to take it on down. Not going to be enough. Moving into round number 2 with a 4-cube deficit. This is a tough opening round for Monkey. Damn. Getting all of the energies. Plopping down a Lockjaw, flipping on Muir, take advantage of the low ends. All right, 6 power to boot. We could move the Lockjaw now into Fisk Tower, snipe 4 power off of it in its new ability. And these are the moments where Monkey's saying, man, I really miss the old Fisk Tower. But they're going to go for it. So there's your Reality Stone taking the Muir Island out of the picture, putting Great Portal into the picture. Both players getting a 10 power card with a Doc Ock pull. That could be potentially huge in that Lockjaw lane in particular, as Lockjaw hits down to -1. Possible secure location now with that Doc Ock. But you always have that strength in Leech. This is tight. Which do you do? Do you secure the Fisk Tower, knowing that Shang-Chi is also in your hand? Great combination, always having it as a safety play, but there's not a lot of power as a backup plan just in case. This is tough. They just go for the power. They play down the Cull Obsidian as Shang-Chi removes Magneto from Fisk Tower, disappears into Lockjaw, pops out a Reality Stone to flip that into Monster Metropolis with only one space available for play on Crazy's side. Now, with the Cull Obsidian being dropped down, unfortunately that Scar didn't receive a further reduction. So Doc Ock looks a little bit better, knowing that it would be a 13 power Doc Ock. But we have the flexibility of Jeff also that could be moving around anywhere. Ooh, rough situation for Monkey right here. And again, you're still in the low stakes. This is round number 2 after that big 4-cube opening loss. So a retreat here would not be the end of the world, if need may be. Ooh. Tough call. Just looking at potentially straight up big power playing into Monster Metropolis. Could also plop it on down into Icebox, thinking the Jeff's going to move. Either way, there's no one single big lane here, so Monkey's got to retreat. Not getting the stones they need early on. Monkey is struggling 2 games in a row right here up against Crazy, who has a tremendous amount of KOs in this Johnson Cup at this point. And a Shuri's Lab opens us up. District X when it's Thanos v. Thanos. Oh, does this make it fun? Power Stone for 6, and then a Castle Blackstone to boot. The Werewolf by Night's a nice pull here, but we're only currently sitting on 2 on reveals at the moment. I like the Meek flexibility for that Cull Obsidian on that play as Kyera drops to give the advantage over to Crazy, who's going to be working now with 5 energy. Cull Obsidian can go on top and help take over that lane, but still not a good amount of on reveals for that Werewolf by Night. If we see a 1 cost on reveal, we might see some Werewolf play. They pull out their stature, not going to be the advantage that they need, but that Destroyer, oh man, Destroyer hurts right now. And we see a snap come from Crazy. Looking to build a 10 power Werewolf into the middle lane. Oh, it's a snap from Monkey. My apologies. Snap from Monkey. Crazy retreats for a cube, giving Monkey its first cube off, heading into the final of the low stakes rounds, round 4. Murder World. You've got 2 stones in your hand. You've got a Lockjaw in your hand right now. It's a good start. But instead of time stoning on 1 into Lockjaw on 2, we hold. And we see a snap. Looking for the potential card draw, playing into the Mindscape, which is pretty much a 50-50 flip for both players right now who are playing nearly identical decks. We've only seen the 2/3 of the known deck right now, though. There goes your Lockjaw Space Stone into the Mindscape. Here comes the flip. And the Reality Stone draw with the Cull Obsidian's got to feel good. Reality Stone draw from Mindscape has got to feel good with more energy potentially to boot. There's your Mind Stone also, looking at every energy draw. And instead of going that direction of Reality Stoning the Mindscape, they're willing to take the RNG on it. Draw a couple of stones, toss the Mind Stone back into Lockjaw, pop out a Shang-Chi, who has no value, unfortunately, right now, except for information for Crazy. Reality Stone's going to flip that over into nowhere, which could be a big surprise. The Space Stone removes your movement, and the Soul Stone's going to disappear into Lockjaw for the Mindscape side and turn into the Reality Stone, which flips that Mindscape anyway, which ends as a Hotel Inferno when all is said and done. Now, Monkey's now back in his advantage with some flexibility of where do you toss what, right? You've got the vision on the board, which always creates some indecision. You've got the ability to interfere with your Lockjaw from that extra energy, potentially next turn. Lots of flexibility here, and Crazy's got to feel good knowing that Nowhere's removed those on reveals also from their opponent just as much as they've removed it from themselves. They are playing a Devil Dino, so that's a strong pull also for Nowhere. There is no no Lockjaw toss, and Hail Marys the Professor X into Nowhere, but little do they know, Monkey sitting on Jeff in their hand, ready and set to go to try to steal it back. No snap, just call, trying to steal 4 cubes off of Crazy and even this match back up at 5-5. Does Crazy also have Jeff? Crazy backs out. Crazy backs out. Man, that could have been a really scary 4-cube moment, but Crazy knows better being down in those other 2 lanes and decides to say, you know what, here's 2. I'll take it at 7-5 right now. Double ongoing. Drop it all down. Not a lot of card draw. Oh, not a lot of card draw. Doesn't reveal too much information, though. Okay, here we go. Time Stone and a Psylocke bring all of the energy and then try to secure that Thanos is what they're looking at into Nowhere. I like the big beefy security call here, getting that 6 energy to work with and protect the Thanos potentially in Nowhere so it can't be Shang-Chi'd. We see a snap come through and Crazy runs away right away. Tail between the legs. It is 5-5 like that after 5. There we go. Mind Stone plop for both players could lead to some very, very tricky plays at the end. The Cull Scar combo is definitely feeling good, and that's the direction Monkey's leaning right now. But once again, we talk about it on our channel all the time. The danger and threat of Baxter building can easily be worked around and snipe cubes very quickly. Let's see which direction they go. Crazy is the one who gets rid of the Mindscape and loads both players with ninjas due to Shadowland, as it's going to be a soul-on-soul moment in the Baxter building, and it's tied up across the board. Daily Bugle with the information exchange, and a Shang-Chi pops in. Now with that Cull Obsidian not being able to be Shang-Chi'd into the Baxter building, I like the play here of trying to take advantage of Baxter building slightly because it's a safer location right now. Plus you're reducing down your Scar. Kyara with the protection. And my apologies, Scar does not reduce because Cull Obsidian is at 9. So on the one end, the advantage is the Shang-Chi can't happen. On the other end, well, you don't get the reduction on the Scar. So it's a win-win, lose-lose situation simultaneously. Jeff drops to Baxter building as we have Jeff, space, and time. 6 energy to work with on the final turn, on the turn 5, I should say, for Crazy. And a Reality Stone could make it a lot of fun. Going with the cull. Take the cull movement into the lockjaw lane. And maybe a security play into the Shadowland. You've already got a 2-point advantage over there. Does everybody move into Daily Bugle? This is a risky call because you know your opponent has Shang-Chi in their hand via the Daily Bugle. And they move their Soul Stone, so Cull is still protected. Cull is still protected. What a movement read right there. As Blob enters the Hell's Kitchen for 17 power. Now you're at a 9-point advantage into the Daily Bugle while sitting on a 20-point Thanos. Eliath, Professor X, and Devil Dino, and Thanos were all eaten by the Blob. That's a lot of big final turn cards removed. With them being removed, what could potentially drop into the Daily Bugle? Magneto, correct? It's the Magneto basically right now. That's the highest card they could work with to try to snipe some extra power. By putting Thanos here into Hell's Kitchen, you're securing a tiebreak situation. And they retreat. They're scared of the Magneto. Monkey backs out for 2 cubes, 5-3, advantage crazy. Tight matchup here. Tight matchup here. High stakes round number 7. No stones in hand on the draw. But Elysium, which is such a fun yet scary location for these decks. Oh, we could see a lot of fun here. Kind of hoping for it. Mind Stone to start. It's got to feel good. Ooh. Sakaar. Best possible pull. Probably the Thanos. Almost built the entire rainbow, just missing a reality stone at this point. So a 20 power Thanos officially becomes a threat as the Eliath eliminates Jeff. The Jeff has been harpooned by the purple fart cloud, leaving us with just a Psylocke to play on this turn. And we see a snap drop on down. And he goes for it. This is for Monkey's entire tournament line as the Professor X drops in with the Psylocke, securing Elysium for Crazy. Now, with only 3 turns to go, Monkey has to try to recover 2 lanes against Crazy, back-to-back moments. This is it. Devil Dino drops into Sakaar. Magneto drops into Sakaar. So 1 lane with a slight advantage right now, but not a lot to go on top of it. The Vision comes in for some confusion. And this is what it comes down to. Call Obsidian, Time Stone, and Soul Stone. Does the vision move? If it does, what replaces it? Does it stay where it is? And a bunch of stones get dropped into Lechugia to ramp that Devil Dino back up. The Mind Stone has already been played, so it's not going to go plus on Dino. The only way to steal Sakaar right now would be a vision movement plus Magneto. For Monkey's tournament line, he's banking on vision moving. He locks it in. There it goes. Vision moves with a Thanos on top of Lechugia for 14, 18, 22 power when all is said and done. It's not gonna be enough with the Cull Obsidian and Soul Stone, which drops it down to 18 versus 12. And Crazy with back-to-back eliminations here, taking now down Monkey from Team Zariweya. Congratulations, Crazy. You move on once again and looking for the knockout to try to win Group A entirely by yourself. Great game right there. Back and forth on the double Thanos matchup. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
And M'Baku takes it back! M'Baku MVP! That was best play of the year on this channel without a question of a doubt. That was amazing.
Taken down Suns, and now we know that Team Sizer is going to be the opponent for Team Owie. We're going to be able to take a look at those broadcasts tomorrow, bright and early, at least for me, bright and early, once again. So let's go over here and discuss tomorrow morning. For me, tomorrow morning, same time that this broadcast started again, which was
Go!
Victory.
Oh, that was huge. Huge. Iron Lad wins with the claw hit, because otherwise it would have been a straight up tie. That was amazing. Iron Lad for the win. Discard a couple of things. Pew, 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 pew. At the gym? Ah, gotcha. You should do a hydrate channel point redeem. Pharaoh, why don't you go take a look in there for a little bit? Go take a look in those channel points. Whoa. Yo, did y'all see that at the bottom of the screen? Y'all saw that, right? Damn it, it hit the claw. Oh, that's bad for two reasons. Damn it. It is time. It is time for the captain of Team Zariweya to show what he's made of, ladies and gentlemen. It is Crazy versus Zariweya. Let's go as we start ourselves off with a rickety bridge and a... Looks like we've got ourselves a helideck coming back from Zariweya to try to take down Thanos, with a Triskelion loading everybody up right away. That Yellow Jacket feels pretty good right now. Lockjaw, Yellow Jacket, and Jubilee all sitting pretty right now, with a hidden Hobgoblin in the hand. Goes for the first toss bright and early with Yellow Jacket, hopefully not trying to hit that head. A Morph comes down and turns into Blue Marvel. Pretty nice pull. Pretty nice pull on the Morph play. Thank you, Triskelion, for making that happen. And Lockjaw pops out Infinite right away also. Now, Crazy does rock Shang-Chi, so there is some threat there. But keep an eye on if Black Cat holding down is going to be worth value. Now, if they do play also into Rickety Bridge will proc before the Bifrost. And they do play into it as well. Black Cat comes down. There's your Space Stone with the Rickety Bridge. He's got to be sad. Got to be mad. There's the 1. There's the 2. Clogging over the Bifrost semi-temporarily as Jeff still has a movement available to him. Hela now pops down and creates a very risky move if you wish to Jubilee to create some uncertainty. If Zariweya is playing, for example, the Corvus version, if it pulls down that Corvus, as nice as the extra advantage is, there's 5 cards in the hand, 20 chance on that Hela being knocked out. So do you go for the safety of just an 8 power play with Hobgoblin? Play into what Triskelion gives you. There's no snaps on either side yet. Based on the reservation, I would not be surprised if we see Crazy snap here and put out a retreat from Zariweya to get a free cube. And instead they play into Rickety Bridge and lock it down with Professor X. 1 lane for Crazy right away via the Prof X. 7-point advantage temporarily in Triskelion. Six cards in the hand for Crazy. You've got 1 card to drop. Do you play heavy into Triskelion? Because Jeff could move. You have 19 on the board. Crazy could have Shang-Chi in hand. Death for 12. Zari says, I'll see you next round. Goes ahead and backs out. Goes ahead and backs out, says it's not worth it today. Ooh, Bar Sinister. Bar Sinister is a tempting card with this amount of discard potential in your hand. And a white hot room in the center also makes for a very interesting play. It really depends on the next draw. Maybe you take advantage of Bar Sinister that way. And a Nexus on top of it. And an instant snap from Crazy. Instant snap. Oh boy. What's your line here, folks? On the one end, the white hot room creates some challenges. On the other end, Bar Sinister creates some flexibility. We do know that Crazy runs Vision, and Vision Bar Sinister is a very scary proposition. So with Nexus on the board additionally, plus potentially free energy, Zariweya takes the decision to back away and just say, you know what? I'll see you in round 3. Let's go. There's Corvus. The Red Skull's a great pull here. Could be really good. It'd be a better target for a Black Knight, of course. rather than a potential revival where it could drop down to as low as an 8, essentially, when all is said and done. Sorry, correction, 6. But Bifrost makes another appearance. Gotta skip, gotta move on. Looks like Zari's worried about the +2s. Tough decisions here. Black Cat disappears. Nothing comes out from Crazy again. Back-to-back turns, and a sewer system in the right-hand side this time. So playing down the Lockjaw potentially into Jubilee. That's one way to look good. Depending on the card draw, also Corvusing on 4 may make more curve sense. Let's see. Nothing from Crazy again. And this is, yep, this is definitely the right call here. Corvus Glaving. And he goes for the snap. He feels that confident on Corvus Glaive going into Lockjaw. Crazy doesn't want anything to do with it. 1 point over to Zari's side for the first time today. That's going to be moving on to the final of our low stakes round 4. And a Sanctum Sanctorum, which feels good if you're a Hella player, comes on down. Corvus to remove potentially Lockjaw and Sif is a scary motion, but with a Time Stone opponent having 5 next turn, I like where we are here. Well, X-Mansion, on the one end, thank you for that beautiful power of Black Bolt and information. On the other end, could have been a stronger card. Hawkeye for a 1/4 into X-Mansion. That's a nice power differential given the situation. This is more, seems to be more of a flex snap from Zari with that much on the board, given the limited locations, and there's not too much movement unless if Vision drops down right now, but it was worth saying, listen, we're going to take 1 cube at a time, 2 for you, 2 for me, 1 by 1, drop it all the way down. Zari and Crazy, 8 to 8 heading into high stakes. It's like the last 4 rounds didn't even happen. Danger Room and a Shuri's Lab open us up with a nice hand for Zari heading into the next pull, the moments you don't want your Hella drawn. And a Vibranium Mines, great hand. And goes for the Corvus Glaive into the Danger Room, feeling a little risky, trying to stay on top of it. Let's see what it hits. The Lady Sif and the Death. Bye, Corvus! When you want it to live. When you want it to live. Sadly, it does not land. It does not land. Lockjaw's your only play. Tough. Tough here. You're going to need a great draw on 6. And we see a snap back come from Crazy with not a lot in the hand. Zari says, no thanks. If that Corvus had survived in the Danger Room, you'd probably think about it a little bit more, but smart retreat here coming from Zari, taking an 8 to 6 deficit, going into round number 6. I hope y'all are enjoying the finals here of the Johnson Cup. If you are, greatly appreciate your support. Hit the like button, support the channel. Thank you so much for being here with me on this bright and early Sunday morning here for some Marvel Snap. For those who do not know, my name is Guest, also known as ItsGuestGaming, and we are here at the Johnson Cup Group A Finals. The winner of the matchup you see right here today is going to be the matchup that the opponent for the Group B winner, as the ultimate champion for the non-Korean groups are decided on KM Best's channel later on this evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this evening. We're going to see Group B's finals first, then the ultimate final last. As we take a look at the Gamma Lab giving double production here, and Lady Sif kind of creating a build-your-own Corvus with a Sinister London and a fully loaded up Gamma Lab for Crazy. 2 12s drop down, locked and loaded into the Gamma Lab on 48. Nice little scar bonus. And we could go for the double pull from Jubilee. Now, Corvus is tempting. Corvus is definitely tempting right here. To have that double Jubilee have 2 chances to maybe draw back that Hela to try to fill up your other 2 lanes. Because it's going to be tough to go over the top of Gamma Lab because you're not playing Shang-Chi. Dragging over the Lady Sif into Murder World. Not feeling very good about it. And they top deck their Hela. So now, Jubilee is risky. Jubilee is a little bit of a risky play because if you hit Blade, Hela's gone, and it's a 4-cube moment. This is a risky call here. Jubilee looking to try to pull the Infinite more than anything else if it goes into that lane. He's going to go for 2 hits and hope it doesn't pull Blade. Zari with a big call here. Locked it in. Four cards, I want to say, are probably left in the deck right now. So it's a 50-50 Hail Mary for 4 cubes right now. Don't pull Blade. Shang-Chi 1, Shang-Chi 2. Disappears there. Drops in a Space Stone. Here we go. Jubilee number 1. Infinite. Gotta feel good. Jubilee 2. Lockjaw safely does not hit the discards. And there you go with Hela on top of it to boot. So now, where do you play your Hela? The automatic loss location and hope that it lands into Murder World? Because your 2 Lady Sifs hit tall. It hit Magneto and it hit Death. So you've got 24 power coming back. That's a definite. But for Zari's tournament, the captain of the team dropping a Hela down, can you get 24 power to land where you need it on this battlefield? Zari says no. Zari says no. And now we are in full comeback mode. It's 8-2 here in high stakes. Zari's got to win 4 games in a row now to become the Group A champion. Crazy is down to just 1 win left. 1 win to go. Good luck. Reality Stone drops out the Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen brings a card draw. And a White Palace in the mid. They're going to be getting a copy of Death and a nice blob, pulled into Zari's hand. Could be a fun backup plan. There's no scaring concerns right now. the Lockjaw Jubilee line or the Corvus Glaive line on 3 are both very safe plays. Tosses it down. There's the Corvus Glaive who hits Magneto and Lockjaw, which leans us probably towards that Jubilee right now, especially as Hela is now top decked on 4. So bring the Jubilee down. It just can't hit the Blade. We're back to the same place again. Don't draw Blade. Oh, no, wait, Blade's already been played in Olympia, excuse me, which means Lady Sif is going to discard the Death. So 3 revivals right now, including a Lockjaw, are still available. That Infinite is tempting. Yes, I know, but you're more upset about it not being in the deck for Blob. Think about what you have left in the deck at the moment. The biggest one's probably going to be Giganto. And Zari taking in this Hela deck is very risky. It's also the first time I believe I've seen this Hela deck not run with Black Knight. Very unique decision here as he drops his Hela on 5 and starts bringing everybody back with an open lane to toss into Lockjaw. The Cull Obsidian's going to slide out of the Hell's Kitchen into the White Palace. It clogs it up with Death. Professor X locks down Hell's Kitchen. The lane lead is advantage of Zari. You can't Shang-Chi everywhere, and Crazy knows that too. Backs on out. That's the first 2 cubes Zari needed. 6-2. Moving on, round number 8. Baxter building Lamentus 1 does not feel good. Does not feel good right now. When your whole deck is based on rotation, Zari is not feeling good with that Lamentus 1. The Corvus Glaive is a Hail Mary. The Corvus Glaive is a Hail Mary. Jubilee's doing nothing for you. But 6 cards in the deck, 16% chance to hit the Hela. Trying to land that Corvus into Lamentus. It hits the Infinite and the Jubilee! Hela survives! Hela survives! Do you take your RNG one more time? Do you take your chance one more time to maximize yourself? Do you play the Lady Sif and put your tournament on the line on a 50-50 coin flip? Actually, you don't. You have the Corvus advantage. You don't. You have Hela dropping down on 5. Go. Rotate. Everybody shimmies over. Wait for it. Here we go. We've got Hela dropping on 6, which means, though, the Infinite's going to drop down the cost of the Scar also. Big plays are coming down here into the Baxter building, y'all. As the famous Samuel L. Jackson once said, hold on to your butts. Baxter building, Hela flips. Props down Infinite on the left. Jubilee on the right. Low play with the Jubilee. And now, with 7 to go, you can drop your entire hand. Try to look at the loading. 2 cards are currently in Bifrost, right? You drop that Scar down. Scar's going to go down to 10, so you're going to be at 14 when all is said and done. Lady Sif moves into the Lamentus lane. Baxter building or not, it looks like Lamentus and Bifrost are going to hold that lane, and once again, Zariweya lives, bringing down another 2 cubes off of Crazy, halfway through a potential comeback. It is now 4-2, Zariweya versus Crazy. Crazy trying to knock out Zariweya twice in a row now, and it has backfired twice. All right. Vibranium Mines, Monster Metropolis, Valley of the Hand. Soul Stone to drop down top potentials, giving a small advantage over to Crazy right away on turn 2. With the Lady Sif hitting the death, you have a safe removal at the moment. Hela not being on your far right also gives you a safe movement if you pull out your blade. Cull Obsidian drops to go up to a 13 power, and Jubilee is going to pull out the Lockjaw for some rotation, revolution, hope, and chaos and prayer. Lady Sif now is going to definitely hit that death, throwing it into Lockjaw, and now you are hoping for that blade. If not, Corvus Glaive, with a little bit of RNG prayer. Blade for the security, Corvus for the high roll. Me, oh may, oh my. If you're crazy with only soul and cull down, where are you focusing your energy knowing that Lockjaw is on the battlefield right now? Are you trying to secure the Vibranium Mines and risk your final turn card draw? Or are you trying to defend Valley of the Hand with some chaos? They lock down the Monster Metropolis to secure that location. Death gets discarded by Lady Sif, who disappears into the deck, hits the blade. The blade comes down, hits big on Scar. And now you sit with Hela on turn 6. The question is, do you toss it into Valley of the Hand at a chance at hitting another big card, or do you need it to land into Valley of the Hand to go over the top? Priority is on Crazy's side, so we could see an Alioth. This is Alioth versus Hela potentially right now, ladies and gentlemen. Or do you toss your Hela and hope for the best? Exactly. Zari is debating 50-50, 50-50. It's a coin flip. Get ready. And they go for the Lockjaw yeet. They also play into it. It's a blob. Blob absorbs to 15 flat. Hela revives 2 cards into the Vibranium Mines, 3 cards into the Vibranium Mines. Hela disappears, turns into Giganto. Giganto brings it over the top. 3 down, 1 to go. Zariweya coming back 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. All the way. We are down to the final 2 cubes, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy versus Zari in a wild Lockjaw moment. MVP Lockjaw round 10 here at the Group A Johnson Cup Finals. I hope y'all are enjoying this as much as I am. What a matchup. Crazy, Zari, what do you got for me in round 10? Nice opening hand for Zari. Nice opening hand for Zari. We're premiering with a Lady Sif on 3 and all of your 6s that are not Hela already in your hand. The peak! Oh! The peak! Ruining the Infinite, ruining the Magneto, and ruining Scar. That just shaved off 25 power off of the hand with a Hela top deck 3 simultaneously. Lockjaw into Jubilee right now, hoping to not hit the blade again. What a moment with the RNG of the peak, which hits Corvus Glaive. tossing Magneto and Lady Sif right now, disappearing into Lockjaw, giving out a death and cheapening that scar for turn 4 play lines. We still have a full hella play here, though. We still have a full hella play here right now. We do have 7 energy to work with on the final turn. Professor X locks. Professor X locks. That's a winning lane. That's 1 for crazy. Now, all right, here we go. Your discards have hit. Do you Jubilee? You got to keep count of all your cards right now. How many cards are reviving and when and where? Hella drops. Cull Obsidian into the peak. Here comes Hella, reviving the Lady Sif into the peak. The Lady Sif reduced out, but the slide of Cull Obsidian into Nova Roma keeps the peak alive. Does Crazy have what it takes to take over the peak? There's fist bumps. It's the last play of the last game of the last cubes here for Group A. Jubilee trying to pull out some mega power RNG potentially, and they play out the Eliath to secure Nova Roma for the win. Ladies and gentlemen, Zari fighting his way back and back, brings Crazy down to the final 2 cubes. But Crazy says, hold my reality stone. Let me tell you something here. What a final moment here, ladies and gentlemen, for Group A with the Johnson Cup. Zariweya, let's give props where props are due. Zariweya fought his way tooth and nail back into this final battle. The Peaks RNG did not play lightly. Hella's RNG did not play lightly, but at the same time, earlier in the match, we did see Hella's RNG be the saving grace. So yes, it is a double-edged sword to play your Hella decks in moments like these, but GG's, Zariweya. Congratulations to Team Sizer. Team Sizer, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner officially for the Group A here at the Johnson Cup. You will see them again later tonight over on KM Best's channel, trying to take down the winner of Group B. So congratulations, y'all. That was an absolutely fantastic final match. My heart's going about 1,000,000 miles an hour. I hope yours is too, because that was incredibly fun to be a part of. Thank you so much to Johnson for allowing me to be a part of this process. Let's give props to Johnson for hosting this event, showcasing some of the best battles in Marvel Snap. Greatly appreciate you bringing me on board. To say thank you so much is the minimum I could absolutely do. Thank you so much, Johnson, for putting on an amazing match. I look forward to tonight's matchups on KM Best's channel, once again, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 2 a.m. European, and 7 p.m. Korean Standard Time. What a wild finish, ladies and gentlemen. That was nuts. Absolutely nuts. What'd you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Let me know what you think of that final, because I'm pretty sure to say that it was wild is the minimum. So stick around, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you hanging out with me on this Sunday morning. We will be back live again tomorrow, bright and early, playing Marvel Snap here on the guest list. For those who do not know, my name is Guest, also known as ItsGuestGaming, and I will see you all hanging out over in Ordinary Harry's stream, who's regularly been a supporter of this channel. We're going to go send him just as much support. Stick around. Thank you all so much. I appreciate all the support, the follows, the subs, everything that's happened over the last couple of days. You all have been wonderful people. I appreciate you like I can't even begin to explain. Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to seeing you at the next Johnson Cup.